All right, welcome to day 3 of my video, or audio notes. Okay, so the next lesson is 25.4. We'll be solving cube roots. And as you can see on the screen, I've already written down the steps. And hopefully you'll notice that they're just like solving the square roots, except obviously we're working with cubes. And so a friendly reminder, let's remind ourselves that, I'm going to turn off the light, maybe that'll help. All right, so a friendly reminder, cube root of x is the same thing as what? X to the 1/3 power. So the questions that we're about to do can either be written as a radical or can be written with a rational exponent. So either way, they're both cube root functions. Right, so what we're going to do is just practice solving because they're pretty much the same thing and you guys are awesome at solving algebra. So I think we're just going to work some out. That's what we're doing today. So here's the first example. 4 times the cube root of x plus 5 minus 3 equals 17. Okay, so let's read the steps. First step is to isolate the radical, which means you want this radical to be by itself. So what you'll do is undo the operation. So obviously we have a minus 3 and a 4. Which one's going to go first? And does it matter which one goes first? And the answer is yes, it does matter. So the order that you undo is important. So we're going to add the 3, then divide by 4. So add the 3 is 20, divide by 4 is 5. So then we'll have the cube root of x plus 5 equals 5. 20 even 4 is 5. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay. Then, so that's step 1, isolate the radical. Step 2 is cube both sides because the opposite of cube root is cube. So here what we'll do, just so it shows up, is we'll cube both sides. And then what will happen there is that the cube root and the cube will cancel out. And now the radical symbol is gone. So you're left with x plus 5. Well, the 5 cubed, you guys already know is 125. So x equals 120. Then if you plug it back in and check, so if you plug it back in and check it, it's going to be what? 120 plus 5 is 125. Cube root of 125 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Minus 3 is 17. So hopefully you can ask yourself, like, is there any restrictions for checking on cube roots? So my question is, can you take the cube root of a positive number? Yes. Can you take the cube root of a negative number? So hopefully you're going to say yes, because the cube root of negative 8 means what number times itself 3 times is negative 8. And you can take the cube root of a negative number because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. So you can take the cube root of a negative number. Let's do number 2. 4 plus x minus 1 to the 1/3 power equals 2. Okay, this is also a cube root function because anything to the 1/3 power means it's root 3 because 3 is in the bottom. So same thing here again. You want to get in this case, it's not a radical, but it's the cube root part of the problem. So get this by itself. So subtract the 4, so you'll have negative 2. So then it's going to be x minus 1 to the 1/3 power equals negative 2. Now it's isolated, it's by itself. So this piece is by itself. So the next step is cube both sides. So we did this on square root functions. So this is 1/3 power. So how can you make this become a 1? This needs to become a 1, like it needs to go away. So if you raise it to the power of what? Hopefully you say 3, because power to a power you multiply, right? So power to a power you multiply, so 1/3 of 3 is 1, so now this has gone away because the rule is power to power multiply. Well, obviously, if you raise it to a power on one side, you want to raise it to a power on the other side. So this cancels out. Then you're just left with x minus 1 equals, make sure you put parentheses here, it's really important because you're cubing the whole thing. So negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. Add the 1 on both sides, so you get negative 7. If you plug it back in, this will give you negative 8. Cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. So it works. Awesome. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 3 more examples, but I'm going to stop this video after I write them down. And then I want you to try on your own, and then watch the next video for the answers. So give you guys some time to work this out yourself. So cube root of x minus 4 equals the cube root of x over 2. Well, maybe I'll be nice. Maybe I'll do this one. I'll do this one since it's a little bit different. The next two, I'm definitely going to pause the video. Okay, so let's think about this one. My strategy here is I have an cube root of x here and a cube root of x. So I need to get them on the same side. That's one way to do it. So let's think about that. How would we do that? How would we get this over here? Well, this is over 2, so it's like 1/2. So we could move it over. But I don't like dealing with fractions. I don't think you do either. So let's think about it. If you have a cube root of x on both sides, we need to get them to the same side. But that 2 messes me up. So I don't like it. So how do you get rid of this 2? So if it was me, I would multiply this by 2. And when I do that, doesn't that cross out? But then you guys all know if you do it on one side, you do it on the other side. Okay, so now this 2 is gone. Equation is still balanced. So now you do the distributive property. So 2 cube root of x minus 8 equals the cube root of x. You could have left the fractions. Some of you like fractions. You could have left the fractions and you could have worked this out and you would have been totally fine. I just wanted to get rid of the 2 because I don't want to do the fractions. But you could have left it and done the next step. So now I have 1 cube root of x here and 2 cube root of x here. So you want to like move this one over to the other side. So if I move this one over, it's kind of like 2 cube root of x minus 1 cube root of x. And what am I left with? 1 cube root of x. So it's like you're combining like terms. Then I'm going to move the 8 to the right. So I move this over to the left because this is really like a 1 right there, right? Coefficient of 1. Okay, now the cube root, this radical is by itself. So now we can go to step 2. Step 2 is cube both sides. So cube both sides. So x equals 8 cubed is 512. Now, if you wanted to move this over here, that would have been what? It would have been 1 minus 1/2. So it would have half cube root of x equals 4. And you could have worked it out that way too. Either way is right. I was just getting rid of the fractions. Now, I'm going to give you 2 examples to try on your own. Let's try that. So the next example is x squared plus 2x plus 8 equals 2. So it's the cube root. Put the cube root. So cube root of x squared plus 2x plus 8 equals 2. Okay, so try that one on your own. Hopefully you can write that down. And then the next one I want you to try on your own is cube root of x cubed minus 3x squared plus 1 equals x. Okay, so try those 2 on your own, and I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to make a new one and give you the answers. So take your time, work these out, and then click the next video for the answers, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye.